No.
7 o'clock.
Okay, good evening, everybody. We're gonna start off. Just a note, we heard that, based on Florida statutes, if we are holding a notice board meeting or committee meeting, any type of meeting within the association, that also includes Zoom, that the meeting is now recorded and available for anybody to review at a later point. So, just refrain from any additional commentary that you may not want to have within the meetings, but certainly this is the new day and age of accessibility. I'd like to call tonight's meeting to order, the Board of Directors for Playa del Sol Association, Monday, July 21st, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the Ocean Lounge via Zoom and recorded. I'd like to do roll call now. Barbara, can you please do that?
Yes, Roseanne Forte. Bill Valerio.
Here.
Eski Barimi.
Here.
Denise DeLuise.
Yeah.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Mark Jara.
Present.
Barbara Savali, present.
Can you just scroll through everywhere, because there's a note taker, but
Yeah,
I don't know if that's her.
usually she doesn't.
Okay, and just to confirm, from a roll call perspective, First Services folks in attendance.
Scott LaForre.
Isabella.
Isabella Esquita.
And Joe in the background is here as well. Okay, thank you. Scott, can you please confirm that the notice of the board meeting was posted at least 48 hours as per statute 718?
Yeah, I confirm that the notice was posted at least 48 hours prior to today's meeting of July 2025.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the 6/30/2025 board meeting minutes as written and provided?
Let's
Oh, I'm sorry.
approve the agenda.
Oh, sorry, yeah. With regards to the agenda, do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Motion.
I'll second it. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Moving forward, do I have a motion to approve the Board of Director meeting minutes of June 30th, 2025, Board of Director meeting minutes as written and provided?
I will motion.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Moving along, with regards to the office reports and then the manager report. President's report, July 2025. We continue to make steady progress on several major initiatives throughout the property. Elevator modernization remains a top priority. Elevators 1 and 2 in the main tower have been released, though punch lists, which are extensive, remain for all main building elevators. While these elevators were approved by the city, our elevator consultant identified significant issues with the elevators, both being or operating at 350 feet per minute, well below the 500 feet per minute as specified in the plans. They are operable, however, this is not acceptable as it minimizes the speed that folks can go up and down in the association. As such, they will continue to work through the punch list. We will not be proceeding with the wing elevators until these are fully addressed, so we can release those and then ultimately get to the wing elevators. As noted last time, legal has been engaged as well. And considering now that there are some of these additional punch list items, we will be applying additional pressure on the contractor as both pace and quality of delivery remain concerns. No safety concerns, just punch list items that we would expect that would have been done before, so we could have had these released. Meanwhile, our project consultants, Sharp, that noted in the past, who are helping and actively building out the property's master plans with a good number of these initiatives. The next phases are beginning to take shape. Bids are currently being prepared for both the riser replacement and the BDA, the radio signal booster systems. The BDA is a life safety requirement with a compliance deadline of January 2027, and we're planning accordingly. The expectation is that we get these bids for this quarter, next quarter, ultimately start beginning of next year, which is probably around that 8 or 9 month time frame, giving us ample time. Nonetheless, activity is happening, so obviously fire marshal would see that, but we want to be, just like with all these other projects, well underway. During finalization of the riser and roof scopes, it was confirmed and somewhat anticipated that it would be most efficient to move forward with replacing the aging cooling towers at this time. We are beginning working on the specifications and gathering bids for this effort in parallel. The reason to do that is ultimately if we laid down the roof and then we were doing these cooling towers in a couple of years, it could rip up the good quality roof. So we want to make sure that we're progressing as need be. It's no surprise to us all. We've had all these infrastructure projects, well viewed and are all part of the broader roadmap and will help set the stage for even more progress in 2026 and beyond. So 2026 is going to certainly be a busy year that we're ramping up. That being said, we're also assessing much needed modernization of the hallways, potentially be part of the riser projects. As you could imagine, we will be going on every floor, ripping up sheetrock and walls to get, the allowable clearance for sprinklers into the units. That there has been a discussion that when all of these floors and walls are ripped up, it may be time to put that new coat of paint as well as, carpeting. So we are looking at that on what that will look like from a potential design and pulling, a broader team in that. But it's ultimately, as a board, we're looking, not to work on something and work our way back and it costs us twice as much. So these are all anticipated progressive items, but nonetheless, quite busy for the association. You may have also noticed cones outside and markings that Scott made everybody aware of. These were the paver areas post-concrete restoration of, revitalizing those, pavers and making them power wash and staining the pavers to extend their life and restore somewhat of a finish to keep it, under wraps and get to the paver waterproofing project. Scott will also note that now that we finished, is probably looking at, and it's going to, cost the association very little, but aesthetically will be quite pleasing in that now that we've done that, Scott will be coordinating with the internal team to potentially paint the lines, a handicap blue, nicer, straighter white lines, as well as those parking lot curbs to paint them white. Visually, it's going to at least accentuate the property. So we're certainly going to continue to move that as well. There's a lot happening. We're already preparing for the high season. Even Scott and Isabella are already coordinating and making sure that the holiday lightings are all being coordinated already. What does it look like from the association aesthetics perspective? Just preparing with that. But Scott will speak to the recent enhancements, including the newly added rules or regulations for the ability for trickle chargers, as well as the operational updates that Scott will provide in more detail. Once again, thank you all for your support and engagement as we continue to move forward. Lots going on in association, and it's great. We have so much board as well as association member activity to move this forward. Mark Jara, Playa del Sol Board President. Thank you. Yes, Heskey from the Treasurer's Report.
Does this work?
It's on.
You should work.
All right, this is Heskey Brahimi, your treasurer. Since we don't have our June financials.
Use a microphone.
You still need to.
All right, this is Heskey Brahimi.
Much better.
Since we don't have our June 30th, financials, I'm going by May 31st. As of May 31st, we had 1.24 million in operating cash, 3.75 million in the special assessment account, and 6.1 million in the combined reserve, for a total of 11.09 million. With regards to our current construction projects, there's a balance of 1 million due to for the elevators, and another $2 million earmarked for the roofing project, which is undergoing some value engineering by our new project manager. With Carousel having been paid in full, we still have some $400,000 left from our concrete restoration budget. So with all the projects that Mark outlined here, we're starting at the beginning of 2026, we're gonna need a big war chest to finance everything. And hopefully with the current reserve contribution levels, we'll be able to build up a war chest to tackle these major projects. Last month, we signed a 2-year gas rate lock with Gas South at $0.124 per therm. This is gonna lower our expenses. A couple of months ago, we got a $4,000 gas bill. That kind of slipped our attention. I didn't think it was gonna jump this high when our contract expired. Once we renewed the contract, the monthly bills dropped down to $300-400. So that's gonna save us some money. Our Sears and non-Sears reserves are now being kept in separate distinguishable accounts, with the current estimated Sears balance of 4.85 million and the current non-Sears balance at 1.65 million, with a total through July, so this is through July, of 6.5 million. So we have a nice big war chest, and it's growing. And now that the projects have been slightly delayed, we were anticipating starting them this summer, but since they're gonna be starting in early next year, we're gonna have more cushion to keep the expenses steady and contributions steady with no special assessment. Recently, we were contacted by South Bank that we had our accounts in, we had an active line of credit, and they were inquiring on whether we were gonna renew that. So that's one thing that the finance committee is gonna consider. In retrospect, it might be useful to have this extra cash available, especially if we were gonna try to tie in these project expenses with our contributions. So, this way, if there's a shortfall, rather than resort to special assessments, we can take out a small loan to tide us over until the contributions come in. This concludes the July 21st Treasurer's Report. Thank you all. Thank you.
Heskey, if I could just ask 2 questions. With the budget dollars that we have for concrete restoration, do we have to vote on where we essentially move that, right? As a board, can that go into a separate fund to put back into the other series account?
Yeah, I mean,
How is that?
if it's not used for roofing.
No, I'm sorry, the concrete restoration.
No. I mean, that was part of the contingency.
Oh, okay, got it.
So, we had like a $900,000 contingency for all the projects, including concrete. So, as long as it's used for either roofing or the elevator or concrete, that's the money that was earmarked in that special assessment. But if we're gonna move it over to reserve, we're gonna have to.
Oh, got it. Okay. Next thing is, I thought at some point when we moved over to First Services, we were talking about the line of credit and whether it would be advantageous to go to any of the partnered banks, based on rates, but I think that's gonna be an assessment. I think the finance team's gonna have to take a look at on what makes more sense, but.
Yeah, the only advantage of staying with South Bank is that it's going.
There's no application fee then.
There's no application fee, there's no docking fees, there's no, all the stamp fees and all the expenses of it. Just a matter of moving some money over. I mean, we have reserve, And the only, reservation I have about South Bank is, for years, we had monies and money market account that they sort of, stayed quiet and paid us next to 0% interest and until we threatened to move the money out. And then that's when they started, coughing up more interest, but, they sort of, try to pull one on us there. But otherwise, we'd be saving about $20,000
Okay.
if we stayed with them.
Right. Moving along, to the manager's report. Scott?
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Some updates from the last time we met, which was June 30th. In preparation of getting the wing elevators down for modernization, maintenance, excuse me, the maintenance staff has been building ramps that will be setting up on certain floors on the wings for those that will need it, because there is a little ledge stepping out onto the catwalks from the main tower and from the I guess like stairwell areas and the catwalks. So we have multiple ramps made for a list of residents that have requested for such. We put a new vacuum down at the car wash area, so that's a little enhancement to that area. So now you can clean your cars out while you're washing your vehicles down in the lower garage.
Or your pets.
We've put new stop signs in multiple areas of the garage, the north garage, south garage, and then we also put a solar lighted stop sign when you're coming down from the upper north parking deck. We also have another stop sign that's been ordered. As you make that loop around the pavers to exit the property, that stop sign that's on the right-hand side, that'll be another solar panel stoplight that'll light up at nighttime. A lot of requests from residents for the north gym to put a new fan in there, so we did put a fan in there that matches the fans in the south gym. Shutters along the promenade deck here. There's electronic shutters all along these windows here. We did test them the other week because they're all, like I said, electronic and by remote control. So we did open them, close them multiple times just in preparation for hurricane season to make sure that they are all working properly. We did some touch-ups on the railings along the promenade deck as well. So for our ELSS that's been approved by the fire marshal, part of that is, I don't know if anybody can see the little snippet on top there that I took out of the ELSS, but all doors in the residential hallways that open into the hallway, they need to be able to self-close by themselves. So what we've done as a test on a few doors is we put the self-closing hinges on them. So when the doors open to a 90 degree to a 90-degree angle and you let go of the door, that door has to be able to close and latch on its own. So we tested that on multiple doors. It seems to work. We verified that the hinges that we've been purchasing with Sarah, the engineer, that those will meet code, and they do, so we'll be fine with them. So we're gonna have maintenance start installing those on all common area AC doors, and they're also gonna have to go on all the residential AC unit doors. And another catch to that is residential AC closets cannot be locked. We have to be able to get in and out of them freely. So as we're doing these hinges on the residential AC unit doors, any doors that we do find that are locked, we'll be reaching out to, the residents to either unlock it for us. Somebody's out of town, they don't have a key. Unfortunately, we're gonna probably have to remove the handle, install a new handle for the resident, and then charge the resident for the new handle. But so that's instead of hiring an outside company to come in and do this, it's, there's a lot of cost savings in doing a simple project like this in-house. So that's something that the maintenance staff will be working on over the upcoming weeks. And if anybody else, any of the residents do want to see the approved ELSS report, it is in Building Link. So it's available for anybody to view. As Mark spoke earlier, we had the pavers power washed and coated. It's not a sealant, it's a different coating that brings out the color rather than sealing the dull color that was already on there. And part of that, they also power washed the north deck pavers up there. You can see before and after pictures. We did not do any kind of coating or sealing on that area. It was just a strictly just a power wash. So our lightning protection system was inoperable. I'm not sure for how long it was inoperable, but it was. The main lightning rod, I don't have a picture of it here, but it was crooked. There were areas of wiring that were cut. A bunch of areas weren't connected. Alex, you noticed that the grounding cable down in the lower garage was disconnected at one point. So we had a company come out, they put a new Heary Brothers lightning rod up on the east mechanical room on the main tower, and then they also installed additional streamer points along the top of the parapet wall. And so that system should provide coverage for the entire building. We had our GL carrier come out the other week to do a survey of the common areas. Two items that they found that need to be corrected was one, we don't have proper elevator certificates. And that's because we're going through modernizations, and because we have modernization permits pulled right now, we're not having our yearly inspections done. So to comply with that, just like we did last year, TKE needs to write a letter of explanation to the GL carrier, and we just submit that, and that item will be cleared. The second item was, there's no clearance sign on the porte-cochere. So we ordered a sign. It's a small sign. We're gonna see if we can get away with something small being put up there rather than having some big ugly sign up here. So maintenance staff actually just installed that today, and I took pictures of that excuse me, to send over to our broker who's providing the pictures to the GL carrier to show that we've complied with putting a clearance sign on the porte-cochere. I believe it was back in May, we had our annual fire marshal inspection where there were noted violations on there, such as burnt out exit sign lighting. We had a hose connection that wasn't properly labeled out on the wall facing the street. A couple of other minor violations. Maintenance took care of all the items. Fire marshal did come out on July 3rd to re-inspect those violations and found that they were all corrected properly. So that's our letter of saying that there's no current violations at the property at this time. Some administrative items. Let's see, second quarter maintenance was due July 1st. We're currently at $144,816 in delinquencies right now. Obviously, we'll be reaching out to those owners like we do every quarter. We'll get that balance down to about $15,000, and then it'll start over again on the third quarter. 4 new security guards have been hired for our security operations staff. 2 of them have been working over the past, I'd say 10 days to 2 to 3 weeks. And then another 2, Javon and Kashona, have started this afternoon. They'll be working the 3 to 11 shift all week this week, getting trained in. 3 notices of violations were sent out since June 30th to residents for just various violation rule infractions. So far, we've been able to remove 17 unclaimed bikes from the bike racks. More emails will be going out about bikes because we haven't gone through all of them yet. Once we go through the bikes that aren't properly registered, I will then go reaching out to the bikes that are registered, but haven't been ridden for years, that have the cobwebs on them, the inch of dust on them, to see if owners still want their bikes or if we can properly dispose of them. 9 cabanas have been identified as a second cabana registered to a unit. Isabella has been reaching out to those residents, confirming if they even know about that second cabana. A lot of them didn't. So we're assuming it was just left over there from a previous owner years ago. So we've identified 9 that will be removed from the parking garage area over here, and they'll be disposed of. Last meeting, there were a couple of items we were discussing, the installation of trickle chargers. So we did reach out to the association's attorney, and she has drafted the release portion of the residential use of trickle chargers. We are drafting rules right now that go along with that release. We're about 80–90% done on those rules. The one thing we are just trying to figure out right now before we can finish the rules is the vehicles that are not parked on a wall, but kind of in the center lane, how we would give the ability for one of those residents to have an outlet put in, because there's not a wall right there where it can be easily installed. So we're just trying to figure out how we can accommodate those residents if they do want an outlet put in for a trickle charger. There was discussions about a window amendment and making all residents required to have fully impact windows and doors. Again, we reached out to the association's attorney. She is drafting the amendment that will require a unit owner vote for that to pass. That would be a majority of the voting interest in the building in order for that amendment to pass. So once that's completed, we will have to have a board meeting for the board to approve the amendment to go out to a unit owner vote. I think I did mention at the last meeting that there were a couple of stacks that engineering hasn't given us the impact window list. I did receive that from them. I think it was yesterday night that they emailed that to me. So I do now have a full list of units that don't have impact windows and doors. There are just a couple things that we need to verify as far as windows that are laminate, or what's the term I'm looking for, Alex?
It's tempered and.
Tempered and tempered laminate, so we just need clarity on whether those would be compliant for insurance to get the Class A coverage.
And
Board, am I
from
missing
NV
anything?
NV5,
Oh, yep, so I have a phone call with Bruce Bromley tomorrow, NV5, regarding the billing for the roof spec that he's put together. So after I have that meeting, I'll have an update for the board on where we're at on that. Questions?
Hello? Yeah. Are we putting trickle chargers for all the cars?
No.
Okay, so just a handful? How many are there approximately?
Well, I haven't sent a survey out to the building, but I mean, once we have everything established, the email will go out, who's interested in having a trickle charger.
it has to be paid by the unit owner and obviously permitted and all that with the contractor's package.
On the porta cochere height, is that more than 13.6 on porta cochere?
I think it was 15 feet 10 inches.
Because I know anything over 13.6, I don't think we need a sign, to be honest with you. DOT has allows for signage on the bridges and overpasses, anything under 13.6, if I remember correct.
Right.
That you can verify.
Yeah, that was a request from the GL carrier, and I
Yeah,
wasn't
that
gonna
might have been
argue
fine.
with them.
Another item, on the lightning protection, the lower roofs have a lot of cables all over the place cut. Can all that be removed now?
I'll verify with the company, but I mean, it should be if the system that's installed now gives us coverage for the
You've
wings.
seen the wires and all that.
Yes.
Kind of
Yeah.
dangling. All right, then we have to do whatever repairs we have to do on the parapet wall on those anchors. That's all for me. Thank you.
Any other board members?
Yes.
No,
From the board first. Yep. Any? Okay, none here, none on Zoom either, so please. Looks like there's a couple of hands online as well, so we'll get to those folks right after.
Is it about?
And is it about, and it is about the president's, the day manager's report, okay, yep, thank you.
Yes, Calabres,
Yes,
21 on 14. Scott, I have ideas for you. Make it easy. Identify the locations for the trickle charges, and I will explain to you the easiest way to connect them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Yep.
Okay, and then at the end, I got another update for the LED lights.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gus.
awesome, I think there's, one online, I think it's Trish. If I'm seeing it correctly.
Yep, I just had a question about, the list that Scott has for the impact doors and windows. When are the unit owners getting notified as to who is, being affected by that?
So there's units that we have to verify first. We've discussed this with our project management company, Sharp. And they have someone that'll be available where we can go to some of these units that we're unsure of. So once we get that scheduled and that I guess survey with Sharp and who they have, we'll be able to provide a true accurate list.
Are you thinking the next month or two and next couple of weeks?
Next couple of weeks, yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay,
Thank you.
yep. I think that is it. We could continue to move through the agenda. Committee reports, document rules.
I, Steve Ferguson, 602. The committee is.
Sorry, Steve, Isabella, can you end the meeting?
Who's out of the pool?
Bill, was that you?
No,
There we go.
there has been Mr. Bill.
Hello?
Yeah.
Steve, 602. The committee has submitted 2 survey questions to the board today regarding some of the things that we were asked to look at. Those issues are becoming a pet-friendly building and capping the number of renters in the building. We were discussing that these should go out probably at the same time as the impact window issues that were discussed just minutes ago. So hopefully people can get a look at a bunch of things, all that we're not sending out a whole bunch of different things. And so that hopefully we can have some answers by the September board meeting so that we can move forward with some of what the owners vote. So the other thing is the review of the rules and regulations have been completed. There are some that are still being worked on. The issues with the not the issue, but the concerns of the garage doors and all that stuff. We just need to finalize some of those, tweak some of those rules. And of course, the trickle charges that we have something in there, but we still need to get that finalized. But I believe that some of that stuff should be going out soon. Hopefully we'll be getting to the final approval of the cabanas tonight later in the meeting so that we can move forward with that. And also I just want to say that I see that on the agenda, the cabanas and the beachfront are listed together, but I believe that the cabanas and the beachfront umbrella issues need to be 2 separate issues. While the discussions of the umbrellas continues, that should not be holding up voting to adopt the new cabana rules. Once the cabana rule is approved, we can send out the new rules to all the owners. The umbrellas will need to have their own set of rules that the committee will be discussing once we get direction from the board. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Insurance and finance. I think I saw Mike here or Mike here.
There was a
Okay,
different mic.
general, okay, social committee.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Social committee, we have an event coming up on Friday. Hopefully all of you will be there. It's called the Italian Inspiration. We will have music and dancing, Italian style. We will have people at the bar, special drinks, all that sort of thing. The next happy hour is August the 29th. The theme is Let the Adventure Begin. And September 26th, the theme is a Greek inspiration. So we've got plenty of things coming up. New Year's Eve is moving along very nicely. We do have confirmed Lenora J., who is the singer for the evening, and she's quite well known around the area. We're still working on a caterer. We do have event cards. So everybody pick up one. It's got all the events that we've, put out for the whole year, going through May. And they're also in the lobby. June financials are good. Bottom line is we still have around $4,400 in the budget. Thank you to everybody that buys the 50/50 and Alex and Kathy who do the blackjack and the contributions.
Not enough to fund the reserves.
I don't think.
You'd be a rock star if you could fund the reserves.
Yeah, we'll help fund the reserves. Maybe we can do that. The last thing is a formal board request for a welcome team. We are expanding the Friends. We're up to about 20 people, the 5 that are official members of the board. And of course, then we have about 15 others who just can't wait to help us out. And most of them want to work on the welcome committee. So our request is in progress, as I understand, from Mark and Scott. And it is being sent to the legal counsel, so we'll have an update on that. Anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you. We'll see you afterwards. The bar is open now.
Thank
you.
Old business, major projects, you have some updates
Yeah,
besides the ones we talked about?
some of them may be the same.
Put it in for-
All right, so VDA, the elevator consultant, the association has completed their punch list of elevators 1 and 2. Their report just came out this afternoon and it was provided to TKE. I also put that report up in Building Link for anyone who wants to take a look at it. So both the punch list from VDA for elevators 1 and 2 and 3R6 are on Building Link under the elevator modernization section. So residents are able to view that. Punch list for elevator number 3 is going to be completed tomorrow. VDA will come back out to re-inspect to ensure that they did comply with all the punch list items. Sharp project developments, they've been reaching out to the vendors that have previously put bids in for the ELSS and BDA system. So they're just having the vendors resubmit their bids if there was any price differences in materials. So their Sharp is working on that. They have also reached out with Sarah Maman, the engineer that's working on these projects with us. So we should have more information on the near future on what the plan is going to be as far as the ELSS and BDA. Epic Forensics and Engineering, their specifications for the replacement of AC risers and cooling towers is under internal QC review. Unfortunately, we were expecting that those specs to be done about 2 weeks ago. They are running into some issues with the cooling tower design, but we're hoping to have that hopefully within the next week.
Well, yeah, with the garage openers, when is that going into effect?
So we just got the stickers for the
The
vehicle.
RFIDs, the stickers? Yeah.
So we just got the stickers for those yesterday. They're a little clear sticker about this big that's gonna go on everybody's headlight. The resident, whose ever cars are in the garage now, the resident does not be present while we apply the sticker on it. So what we're gonna do is, security has already formulated the list of vehicles that's in the garage, make, models, license plate numbers. And they're gonna be applying the sticker to each vehicle. Once we get, each stickers on each vehicle, we will be able to go live, but we do need to finish the rules for these stickers before we actually put this in process.
You're gonna go on the right or left, we know, just make it.
It's gonna be on the left headlight.
Yeah, and
If you're looking at the vehicle, it's gonna be on your driver's side headlight up on this section here. It does not interfere with the light on your, coming from your headlight. It is a clear sticker. It's not even noticeable unless if somebody pointed it out to you.
Both systems be working simultaneously, the clickers and that, or either one or the other?
So the plan is gonna be the clickers will be disabled. The clickers will not work.
but Scott, while you're affixing the RFID stickers, you're going through the process of entering that information into the system from a verification perspective, and then enrolling everybody in that app, right? So they're able to get in and out.
Correct, yeah, clickers still work now. They're still gonna work for the next couple of weeks as we're finalizing our database and putting stickers on the vehicle, yes. Announcements will be sent out in advance on when the clickers will stop working.
Okay. There's a few questions are we able to ask the questions for the manager's report now? Or we want to hold off till later? I think the protocol is to hold off till later. Okay, questions will be, after we adjourn, we're gonna have an open mic.
I just have a, MP5, did we, finalize anything with the money they owe us? Since last time you mentioned it.
Yeah,
So you have a meeting
Yep.
tomorrow?
9:30, yeah, tomorrow morning.
Okay, moving along with old business. As noted, and rightfully so, this was, to talk about cabana rules. I don't think there's anything from a beachfront perspective that we'd be discussing here, but, do I have a motion to approve the cabana rules as written?
I motion.
Okay, so we'll open it up for discussion. I have a comment, I don't know, I'll hold off if there's any other board questions or comments first. No. Everything looks good as well, at least on my end. I'm not crazy about picking the Pacific Blue, but I certainly understand the reason for it. So I'm open for that dialogue, but, I don't know if there's any opportunity just to generalize that, but I think it wouldn't make sense to generalize it because we couldn't close out on the effort. So, I understand the whole point is we have to put a decision here about the all cabanas meet a specific color code and requirement and identify which one that is, but other than that, I think that may be different than what we envisioned, even with the pool area, but I understand the intent.
So, last month I asked Steve, how that came about, what was the process? And, I was satisfied that they did their due diligence and, were thoughtful about, making that recommendation. And, that they, did the research, walked the beach, look at the majority of the cabanas that, it came up with a color that was mostly used by people, but not all people use.
And it'll be a certain, identified item, this is the type you need to buy, right? With a link that those who want to purchase will have that one to buy.
And Steve, we talked about getting a bulk price for people, getting so that we can get a break for them instead of onesie twosies, right?
Yeah, so I believe that,
Not-
Scott,
Is it on, Scott? Can you check?
It is on.
Hello?
No? There we go.
There we go. I had provided Denise with a link for one of the vendors, but Scott had done some legwork as well and got a vendor that would, like, if someone wanted, if we could get 10 people, the cost would be significantly less than the one that we had provided. So as like new ones would be like $1,500 for the vendor that we found, but it would be, if we could get 10 or more people that wanted to get the cabanas at the same time, the price would be around $1,000. So,
That's great.
yeah.
Anything else from the board? We'll then open it up to the owners. Any hands raised or comments, please? On the cabanas, right? On the cabanas.
Yes.
Okay.
Jack Efrain, 1610. And maybe you've discussed this, but we just don't know about it. But there are a number of people who are interested in having a cabana who've been told there's a waiting list. One way for you to raise money is to allow those people to buy a cabana and put it up. There's room at least for 30 or 40 cabanas out in the area. I've gone by and counted spaces. So may I suggest you do that? And it'll raise money for the building as well, because we're getting all that revenue for those. If money isn't an issue, I have an alternate suggestion. As other buildings have done, they're saying nobody owns the cabanas anymore. It's first come, first served to use them. And a good reason for that is that if you go out and look, most days there's 2 people in the cabana. Maybe in the heart of the winter when the snowbirds are here, it's harder to get. But even then, you don't find every cabana being used. So there probably are enough, if not extra cabanas, if you just want to say, okay, it's available. So 2 suggestions. And take the money that you make and put a bathroom in by the pool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Marcia Seligman and
To the
the
mic.
mic. So I think, it's right here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm in 415 and I think the cabana agreement should be part of a separate agreement, just like the Ocean Lounge, so we can deal with it. I also read the rules and I thought they were a little confusing, especially when they don't address the chairs. So people also buy chairs. What color should they be? So that's another thing missing. So if we want to deal with the cabanas like we do the Ocean Lounge, it should be a separate agreement. People who don't use a cabana for 2 to 3 years, it should go back into the pool. Because people will renew and just pay the fee and they'll never use it. And because it's owned by Playa del Sol, you know, the right to have a cabana, it should be thrown back into the pool, and that is not addressed. So the chairs aren't addressed. The cost should be pursuant to a separate agreement subject to change by the board. And also the fact that I haven't gone into Building Link yet to see as long as obviously there's full disclosure, people know where they stand, people can see the waiting list.
Yes.
So it should be subject to a separate agreement,
Yeah.
similar to the Ocean Lounge.
So, let me note a couple of things. There is a waiting list that's been, there for quite a while, hasn't been dented in because people weren't, removing themselves or giving the, cabanas up. There was confirmation by Scott recently, as he noted, would you say, Scott, about 8 or 9 that had 2 cabana areas? So, which I would expect that these will,
Just extra cabanas.
yeah, extra cabanas, that had extra cabanas.
Not the spot itself, just.
Oh, okay, got it. So with that anticipated, as well as the other aspect of, instead of auto renewing, what's being proposed in this, rule for cabanas is that there would be a proactive aspect by the owner, denoting that they want to continue to, they would have to note that they will continue to keep it. It won't automatically renew, so there's gonna.
I got that part. I'm talking about people will renew and never use it. So it is something that's.
Yeah, so.
Can't hear her.
So, yeah.
Tell her to come up to the mic, please.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay, back to the mic. I'm talking about people will renew because maybe it's an incidental expense, but they won't use it. So other people are
Right.
still on the list. So I'm saying it's a twofold process. One is payment and renewing pursuant to the agreement every year and agreeing to the cost. The third component is, of course, the color that they have to use and
Yes.
grandfathered in, as well as we have to address the chairs. And then we also have to address non-use. So I don't think in the rules that were attached about the cabana, I don't think you address the chairs. So the chairs.
Again,
Renewal.
yeah, we did address the renewal.
Yes,
From my understanding,
but
the
not-
chairs, from a cabana perspective, they should be lounge chairs and not chairs put in there.
Okay.
So, any chairs that's on any private owner or, resident to be able to bring their own chair or use the association chairs. Within the cabana itself, it does need to be lounge chairs.
Okay, everybody has chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people are bringing chairs, so
right.
the rules don't address that. And the rules also don't address non-use. So I think there's a little time that needs to, before you approve those rules that are attached, I do think you should think about it just a little bit more.
So can you elaborate, please, on non-use, because we do have a renewal aspect to the rule saying that, we're giving 90, 60, 30-day notices to them. So it seems to me though, that that's kind of what you're saying is conflicting with what the renewal aspect be, because if they
No.
don't, well, if they do renew, what does it matter to anyone that they don't use it?
It does, because of the fact that other people want to use the cabana.
On the list too, but
Yes.
I get it, but
So I'm saying they can't just reserve it in perpetuity, to protect it for tenants.
Yeah.
No, not even raising the price. We already pay a lot for dues, but just think about it. How many times, how many years can they just continue to renew and never use it?
Okay, again.
Okay.
She makes a good point, Barbara.
Okay, Bill, thanks.
Hi, you sure this is on?
No,
Yeah.
It is.
It's on.
it is on.
Okay,
It is.
great.
printed on.
All right.
But it's-
Hi, I'm David Pickering, 316. It sounds like there are people who want to use the cabanas, but there aren't any. I lived in another facility, Royal Ambassador, and they had 3 rentals that people could rent for $10 a day. So maybe that's one way to alleviate the problem that people don't have a cabana, but would like to use a cabana. I don't know if we have the space, but maybe we could go buy 5 cabanas and rent them out. You'd have to reserve it through Building Link
Yeah.
and pay something,
Yeah, so outside the cabanas, the other thought was based on the assessment of, what our property looks like, that there is an ability to get a 4th row in. And that 4th row would be one where it has sort of permanent, umbrellas, very similar to the next building over. So outside of the cabana discussion, which these would be the rules, is then also the board and the committee is also looking at the ability to put that 4th row in, whether it's in the front or in the back. We have enough to have clearance of another row that will be association open and assigned. Obviously, we need to talk about what that'll look like, whether it's gonna be a fee or obviously reserving it on Building Link. We don't know what that process will look like, but we do anticipate a 4th row occurring as well. So that should help in the middle ground to also have the accessibility from an open perspective for people to have that use as well. Please.
So,
just to echo like what Marcia's saying, and I don't know if you, like, we're getting it because this is what I think she was trying to say. When somebody rents a cabana, there needs to be an agreement that they need to sign,
Yes,
okay? They need to sign an agreement, period.
Right.
Okay, what the color is, this, that, the other thing, okay? And that way they know what the rules are. They don't say, oh, I thought, I misunderstood, what have you. They get to, there's gotta be a written agreement, you know, for having a cabana. Is that what you're trying to say, Asha?
okay, so an effort, so
Yeah.
maybe we could make the,
And I think Marcia drew one up and submitted it, okay, for review, okay, just so you know.
I didn't hear that.
what was that last statement?
I think she drew one up and submitted it for review. I think she. That's us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still can't hear it.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, I.
so the comment was that, Marcia Sullivan, did, draft a letter or, an agreement, to actually, have any owner for cabana who would rent it on a yearly basis to sign off on that.
The discussion, of course, because I didn't know about the glue and I didn't know about no chairs were allowed. I mean, it was just like a bare bones, similar to the Ocean Lounge.
We could do a separate agreement, it makes no difference,
Yeah.
they're gonna opt in anyway, so what's, you know,
Yeah.
what's the
Well,
difference of having a separate
to
agreement?
change the fee every year.
That there's an opportunity. Well, yes, and every year we would look to assess, yeah, as at the end of the year, based on budgets, we do, review all the association-based fees. The question for the board is, do we approve, as is here, or also disclaimer, we would have, a write-up created by, the association that would have to be approved, that have to be signed by the owners that they are looking to rent for the year, the cabana, and with a reminder that by outside of the rule is noting that the requirements by January 2028.
I have another question, Marcia.
Oh.
Thank you. Yes. Just thinking ahead, you were talking about the changes that go in there.
Yeah.
What was your thought on that? Because you were making it a point and I didn't quite understand. People do have chases, right? But they're different?
No, I'm saying that people have company and they have different colored chairs. And it didn't address, it said something about chairs. So you can't really limit the cabana to two chaise lounges because people have company and they get together. But what I'm saying is we want it to be architecturally harmonious. We want people to think about what they're signing, which is the reason for the separate agreement. So when you sign an agreement for the Ocean Lounge, you understand what you're signing, how much it's going to cost you, what your liability is, what your duties are, and obligations. That was the reason for creating a separate agreement.
Right, and to your point about them having guests around them, I know we've had a general discussion about it, but I don't know if it's been more than a general discussion. But there's in trying to get extra space for, you know, umbrellas or cabanas, however it goes. You know, it means that we might have to limit the number of people between the rows so that they don't interfere with the person in front of them or, you know, the person to the next of them in terms of number of guests you can have. Is that something you were thinking of, or?
Well, you know what? That is a good point that we don't want to interfere with other people. But we also want to be a friendly building.
Of course.
And when we see people get together and on the beach and they're having fun, it makes this place a joyous place to live.
Right,
It really does.
but within, you know, certain boundaries, because we were
Yes.
concerned about that. So.
And then we could put that in like raucous behavior or mind your manners, civility is the key, and, you know, please abide by common courtesy.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Marcia, I think one of the reasons why we put two chairs in is, another standpoint is that when we have to bring everything in, if you have 4 chairs to your cabana, the storage is limited and it's like your cabana, I mean, it's a lot to take those out, so you know, we're gonna get more chairs for the beach, so if it's two per cabana and you need other chairs, you can take whatever you want on the outside.
And that's a good point. And that should be like, unless you want people to buy their own chairs to make it the color harmonious with the lounge chair. So, I mean, just think about it. All I'm saying is, it's something we can think of. Yeah.
Okay, I think there was a one, if I could take. All right, Brooke, hold off one more, we have a cabana.
All right, you don't need the other arm in a brace.
Bill Zurich.
Just,
It's,
it's.
Bill Zurius, 2403. So I'm just curious, what problem are we trying to solve in all this cabana discussion? Because there's obviously the look and feel, right? You want certain color scheme, fine, pick the color, who cares? But I keep hearing that there's a big waiting list and none of this stuff is addressing that, if that's a problem.
Right.
Right? So what are you doing in this whole discussion to solve that other problem? That's all I got.
Yeah, you wanna take it? I get it.
Well, yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, if an apartment is sold and that apartment had a assigned cabana, that cabana goes back on the waiting list, am I correct in saying
Yes,
that?
yes.
So that's one way. The second way is we notify all the cabana owners and tell them, you know, they have to change the colors and everything, some people may decide they don't want the cabana at 7 o'clock.
And the price increase.
And the pricing. The other issue is people have cabanas they're paying for, they don't even know they have cabanas. So that's another issue, so. If you take all those into consideration, I think there should be some cabanas be loosened up, and the waiting list should be, partially filled or whatever.
Yeah, and I would just add to that as well, considering that we may get a fourth row in of umbrella-like, spots. There may be some folks that say, you know what? It may be time for me not even to, you know, get a new cabana. I don't use it as frequently. I'll just reserve an umbrella area, so we hope to at least dent a little bit more in that waiting list as well, because I certainly hear it from the people on that waiting list as well. So, you know, trying to amicably, you know, go through multiple scenarios here that resolve a problem as well, but make it uniform for the association.
Right.
Okay, so, how do we want to make, I'm sorry, Brooke, yes.
Good evening,
Hello?
2814 Barrett Brook. Are we talking about, does the color need to be solid or stripes? Is that addressed? I didn't notice it in the rule.
Yeah, there will be a link provided that would, that they would have to purchase based on the look and feel.
Okay, so we don't know if it's striped or solid now.
Solid color, bro.
Solid,
Solid blue.
solid.
Okay, well, I think I comply, but I prefer yellow. I brought up before, and I think it's worth considering that we put a limit on the weight of the chairs, because I was noticing that during a hurricane, there's the exception that says, hey, if you need to get the building tied down, we're going to tie the building down first. And if you lose your cabana, hopefully you can afford a new one. But I just feel for the guys or women or whomever is moving these chairs that I think in the future, the design committee might want to revisit the lounge chair sitting thing for a set of choices as far as colors and stuff. Just a thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so, the motion is, are we gonna call out the aspect of the agreement as well within this motion? Okay, so the motion is to, approve the cabana rules as stated here with the high level points of a cabana space, $300 per year, office prior to November 1st, doing a communication to provide a 90, 60-day and a 30-day notice of the November 1st deadline, calling out that cabanas will meet the blue requirements by January 2028 with provided links, but also a document to sign prior to the renewal to make aware the cabana is being the cabana is being rented out for the year.
Send out a DocuSign.
Yep.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
everybody signs that.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
Have a motion?
I second.
those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. New business, beach storage rules. Scott or somebody want to speak to that?
Yeah, let me pull up my screen here. All right, so this is, I guess, what we're calling the beach storage area here. We can see we got chairs, floaties, noodles, boogie boards. I think one of them might be a surfboard or something. So in our efforts on trying to clean up our garage a little bit, we've had the discussion of limiting what can be stored there, and it looks like we're going to try to limit it to just the foldable chairs there and boogie boards. So all other items such as tables and these big bags of whatever in there and surfboards and floaties, those would have to be either kept in the residence unit or in their storage locker. There was a simple rule drafted by the Rules Committee for this. And it just simply states an area is available in the south garage for storage of chairs and boogie boards. Owners may store 3 items per unit in that area, such as 2 chairs and a boogie board or a chair and 2 boogie boards. All items stored in the area must be registered with the office. Any item not registered with the office will be removed and discarded each month without further notice. And this is actually the area cleaned up right now. A few weeks ago, it was 10 times worse than what it looks like. And if we don't limit what gets stored there, it'll look like it did in short time.
So, I'm clear on this, what kind of a notice are we gonna give initial notice of this? Because do we know who owns, all those things?
No, not everything. A large portion of the chairs there are registered with PDS stickers, but some unit numbers are handwritten on boogie boards, but what we would do, for something like this with the amount of items there, I would say would give people a 2-week notice for those residents that aren't that aren't going to be here over the next 2 weeks. If they can identify their item that's not a chair or a boogie board, that we would, as a courtesy, place it in their unit for them.
So seeing the picture there, I would think a surfboard should be registered and put outside. We do have those areas for boards or paddle boards. So that certainly should be outside. I would include as one of the items those portable umbrellas, because I think we need to take into account the more people carry up and down, especially family, it could put wear and tear on our walls as well as elevators. But I'd like to, potentially see, no difference between chairs, a small boogie board, or an umbrella. I think it's an opportunity for ease of travel with that, as well as thinking about the association walls.
So, I'm sorry, are you going to expand? I have 2 umbrellas in cases that we carry down to the beach. So, they don't, hurt anything. So when you say umbrellas, I'm not exactly sure you're concerned about the stick.
Just a portable umbrella.
Ours are in a case, so they wouldn't do that, but on the restriction in the garage, are we going to expand it a little bit for people that, would like to get things out of their apartment and into the garage?
Expand what?
expand the storage, because I don't know how much storage is there, but for example, what if some people, are saying, hey, I didn't even know that was there, and I'd like to store my chairs down there.
Yeah, so the idea would be to take that shelving and build it, along the wall a little bit more. Just so there is that extra room for, boogie boards or chairs, but again, we would have to limit it to boogie boards and chairs, and if the board decides we want to let umbrellas in there, then we'd have to figure out the storage option for that, whether it's clips against the wall where the umbrella just
I
clips
think
on.
the umbrellas could go into a box and you could probably put a lot in the box, I
In
would
the
think.
box with the tag and the tag.
Yeah.
Why don't we just try to eliminate, some of those chairs in there were probably from before
Yes.
COVID or during COVID, because mine's in my car. But I know they stuck them up there, and they're probably 5 years old. We should try to eliminate the chairs in there that nobody owns. And if you see where the tubes are, they piled the chairs all the way up to the ceiling where the tubes are. And my concern is, if somebody walks in there and their chair is in the middle, when they pull that chair out, all those other chairs are gonna come flying down. So I really think we need to, sooner than later, address that area, or somebody's gonna get hurt. You don't need to, have an issue.
Are you talking about the stabilizing of
I'm talking
the ramp?
about on where the tube is, the tire tube, the tube for the pool.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
up to the ceiling.
so if the
There's chairs
board approves
underneath it.
this rule tonight, email will go out tomorrow morning regarding this. I mean, this is.
Why don't we just start with those two and then see how much space we have? And if we have additional space, then we could add the umbrellas.
Yeah,
But I
Correct,
don't know how many more
once
people
all
have to
these
report.
miscellaneous items are removed and, we verify whose chairs that are there from previous owners, we'll build out additional shelving on what's as needed.
and.
Do we have
the-
enough
um,
space to put like 370 cubbies? One for each apartment, this way
No.
people put it in their own
I don't
cubby.
know how many go in each cubby, how many can get in the width.
You have 370 units and they will not bring only
Yeah.
a pair.
There's probably a lot that would be able to throw out, but I think Denise, to your point, what I've also seen in areas like this, communal areas, is, so something doesn't fall, a bungee cord for each section, so somebody would clip it back in. And look, people may not put it back, but from a security, somebody walking by, just clip it back, at least it has some kind of barrier, so something doesn't fall down, so we could probably put something like that up, but.
You might even think about the fence that you were
Can I
talking.
ask a question?
Bill, 1 second. I was mentioning to Scott that he might.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry, Denise. I didn't know you were talking.
I was mentioning that Scott brought up an idea about the white fence. That would pretty much, clean that whole area up, because most of the people in the building go to the promenade, the beach, even the pool, they come through the south garage. And that's, to me, that's an eyesore. But I get having stuff there for owners, I don't have an issue with that. I think if the fence that you showed us, or one of that white fence, would pretty much clean up the area so that it looks neat once we get into that garage. We don't have to look at all this. I mean, we do pay a lot of money to live here. We should have something presentable.
Yeah, so, Denise, the thought maybe for that is when we do send the survey out, that should be sent to the association, because that's a cosmetic change. Just to have that barrier, we could show a picture and owners could vote yay or nay on that. So we should put that on the list for when the surveys go out. Yeah, it's a material, I would think that's a material change. No?
I like to add a twist to it.
When you ask.
Marcia, are we in, discussion right now still?
For this, yes.
Bill wanted to say something.
Yeah, Bill wanted to say something too. Bill?
I go out to the beach. I go out to the beach very often. And I never see those chairs go out onto the beach. Everybody uses a lounge chair. I have 2 chairs that I had bought before I came to Playa del Sol, plus an umbrella that I keep in my locker. The only time I brought them out was for the air show. Now, all it becomes is an eyesore, and then we got labor that we don't have enough labor to take care of the beach and the promenade right now, that they got to constantly clean up the mess of this area here all the time. You fix it up today, tomorrow it looks like a cyclone hit it. People don't care. That's the biggest problem. You put up a fence, all that's going to do is basically hide, the disaster that we have building up here. So if you go, just what you do is watch the beach. You never see any chairs out there other than our lounge chairs. So what's the sense of giving them? The more space you give people, the more they're going to junk it up. That's my opinion.
Can agree to disagree.
Absolutely.
I'd like to hear from Marcia Zelick when she.
Oh, thank you.
Can you please come up? Can you please come up? Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I just don't think it's a material change, and based on our condo documents, we have the right to make certain changes under a certain
Even if
dollar
it's
amount.
connected to a main wall.
Because
Okay.
it's removable.
What-
But I agree with him. I mean, I bet when you put out your notice that half those chairs will be thrown out or gone. So,
Even though they're there.
yeah, I've never seen them. I see a lot of noodles and, yeah, I think once you put out your notice, though, most of them will be gone.
The material change is taking the common area space that was there and turning it into personal storage. That
I see.
was the material change that wasn't voted on.
There was, well, yeah. Oh, when we did the garage renovation, there was a lot more storage than there was there now. And we had to remove it to do some major repairs on those walls and on the floor. There was storage even on the other walls. There was a lot of storage there. And they took it all out. They only put this small section back. Maybe we should put storage there and have people rent it. I would rent it. Storage bins, I would rent it.
We have First Services here to,
I usually stay quiet in the back, but material alteration, I just want to make sure if you're considering the fence, talk to your attorney. We've had pictures on the wall replaced in condominiums and they lost the material alteration thing. So even though it's not permanent, it doesn't matter with the new statute as of July 1st. So please get the advice of your attorney if you're thinking of that.
thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, do we have any other hands up?
Nope.
Yeah, one thing.
Okay,
Last time we spoke about the parking, has that been worked out with the?
oh, we're still not. Yeah, yep. Actually, it's not, we could add it to. Yeah, Scott, it's not on, but we could have noted it.
Well,
on the
we'll
agenda.
speak about it during Q&A.
Okay, perfect. So, is the motion to, communicate to all owners that they need to, register their, beach equipment, limiting the beach equipment to, was it 3 items? 3 items, that being any combination of chairs, boogie, and an umbrella, and to see what the move on that will be moving forward.
Wait, no umbrella.
No umbrella. No umbrella.
No umbrella,
No umbrellas,
no umbrella,
no tubes.
no noodles, no wave runners.
Well, if they have the tubes there, at least take the air out of them, take them out. They can take those up to their apartment or put them in their locker.
Yeah, noodles, yeah.
Can I make the mention too that the areas where the cabanas are stored in the garage, there's a lot of people that store little beach tables
Okay,
and stuff, that those should be included as items to be removed. That we should
Okay.
only be storing cabanas in chairs.
okay, so Scott, you wanna make the correct motion for the board? You wanna call out the correct motion?
The motion to remove any items from that beach storage area other than the chairs or boogie boards, along with any tables that are stored with the cabanas.
And only allowing up to 2,
Up to 3
Three.
items.
which are,
Any combination of chairs or boogie boards. Folding chairs.
Those chairs could be.
those in favor? You have another comment? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's, I second. Okay. Moving along, one of the new business items, hallway. Okay, what was that?
I just read.
LED lights.
Yes. Hallway LED lights. Scott, you wanna talk through this as well, what the plan was?
Yeah, so there are two hallways that have, a different color lighting in them, a daylight light versus the yellowish that are there. I know it's hard to tell in these pictures, but the left, yeah. And, but the pictures really don't do it justice. The ones with the daylight white do look so much better than the old yellow style light bulbs that are in there.
Warm.
So with these, white color bulbs, the floor only has one white bulb in the sconce that are in the hallways versus the yellow lights have two bulbs in it. So we'd be cutting down on the electrical usage and at the same time making the appearance look better in the hallways. And
Alexa, turn River on.
Who said that?
I couldn't.
You can stay on mute. Thank you.
And then based off of the count of bulbs that would go in the sconces and then in those hi-hats by the elevators, I mean, we're looking around between $70-$80 per floor to have this done.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah, Scott.
And then it would be even less expensive for the wing little elevator lobbies there.
It's finance. Can we find the money?
Yeah.
Ask Glenn, please, let's ask Glenn. if we have money.
Like to what?
Wait, one more, please.
Yeah.
So, can we also, Scott, with that, to me, I could visually see it all the time. The lobby has two different, cool and warm lighting. We should look at the lobby to do the lobby besides the hallway. Because I know those would not just be bulbs, but they may be the full, hi-hat as well. So going through the motion here to do the hallway light, to do the lobby floor here as
Yeah,
well.
I mean, so there's two different colors as you're walking to the Ocean Lounge, but once you get in the lobby, if you really look, there's probably 4 to 5 different color lights in there. So yes, we can get it to all match.
Sure.
Okay. You listed, obviously, there's not big, price ranges between these, and, Scott, there's a difference between, there is a slight difference in the cost of all three, one being from 13 to 18 to $34. Do you want to speak to that as well? Oh, because there are two different light bulbs in the hallways, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is certainly, at least for me, I don't have any other questions on this. Yeah, I see that. Yep, I see it.
The other good thing is they'll be able to see what they're cleaning now.
Obviously, there's a big difference, and I think the picture does do it justice, and I think it even does it more justice when you visualize, you go from floor to floor. You may not even realize, because you're always going on your own floor, but it does dull that yellow looking color in the hallways. I think, is this done with the board? So, Gus, do you have a question or comment?
I have a recommendation and a question. But the white light, what floor is that? Is that the 5th or the 27th?
So the 27th and the 5th floor has had it done.
Yeah, but the two different colors.
So the daylight is the 5th floor, and the picture on the left is the 6th floor.
All right, what I like to recommend is to use 4,000 as the temperature on the light, which is daylight.
5,000.
Well, we have 5,000 for daylight.
Okay, the 5th floor is too bright. So I think that's a 6,000 bulb. So just double check it. My recommendation is stay between 4,000 because it gives you the nice daylight, which is white. Yellow is 2,700.
Yeah, the 5th floor, that was a unit owner that did that. We actually have the signature sheet from the unwritten rule here at the association is you can make changes to the hallways if everybody agrees to it, right? So we do have the signature sheet with literally everybody on that floor signing off on it, but yes, you could be right, that could be 6,000 K
Yeah.
on the fifth
Yeah.
floor.
So that's my recommendation, one bulb and
Yeah.
4,000.
One bulb.
You're gonna save
5,000.
5,000 is too bright. Just double check it.
That's only 60 watts.
Yeah.
No, 5,000 is the color. That's bright, it's too bright. I recommend 4,000.
27th floor is
That's
5,
what we have on the 27th floor, so 5,000.
yeah.
Just double check it.
I have that right here.
Can we also address the garbage area?
And the other recommendation I have is, if you're gonna buy bulbs, buy with the grid chip. That's 7-year guarantee.
With what is it?
It's called the grid chip, CREE. That's an American chip that's inside the bulb and it doesn't change color over time. Because after 3-4 years, you're gonna get the color to come down.
Very cheap. All right.
Yeah.
So
That's
Cree
gonna be in-
has them at the Home Depot and Lowe's.
Everything's made in
Verify, it doesn't matter what it's made, the grid chip will throw the color.
In 3 years, we're doing the whole hallways all over again.
That's recommendations to make it look nice.
Okay.
Can we also address the garbage chutes, the garbage areas? Are we gonna change the bulb in there? And can we put a sensor in there?
There is a sense.
A sensor
So the light goes out.
in the garbage area?
Yeah, mhm.
Are we gonna change the bulbs in there as well?
Yeah, I would think the bulb's gonna get changed in there too. Yeah. Okay,
Parking, rental parking, is that been addressed?
so we're gonna.
talk about.
As well. Okay, so, the motion is to, approve the, upgrading of the hallway lights for all hallways, including, the lobby floor to be uniform, with daylight white, for all floors. Those in favor?
Aye.
Who did the motion?
I did motion, so we need, so I want a motion?
I'll second.
I'll motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Alex, seconds it. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, leaving it, we will look to have open, discussion as well. Is there a motion to adjourn the July 21st, meeting on Monday at 8:28 PM?
I motion.
Okay,
Now, one question.
yep,
When's the next meeting date?
Question. Very good.
We wrote it down, right?
I wanna be-
do we have the date at this point?
No, but, you know, we were doing them last year on the third Tuesday of the month. We've been kind of going back and forth this year, so if we could keep it the third Tuesday or fourth Tuesday, that way, you know, we can plan as a board. How to do it this month has been a little, iffy, but, you know, maybe we all can do it, so I'm available, I'm not going anywhere.
That's what our bylaws say, by the way, third Tuesday of each.
That's what I
month.
thought,
Yeah.
so,
I would like to make a suggestion that we do it at 7, just for myself.
I
I
agree.
think people eat dinner, people drive home. I think 6:30 is too early. That's my
And
opinion.
then we have the 7.
Yeah, I'd like to continue.
Yeah, no problem. I like 7.
I would just like to also think about the, you know, the employees who are here as well for the full day.
It's once a month off. We've had meetings the whole time I've been here at 7 o'clock at night. I know, you know,
It's going enough.
but the next day, give them, you know, time off or whatever it is, time they put in.
So the third Tuesday would be August 19th.
Sounds good.
That's fine, that's fine, Bill?
Fine with me.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:30 PM?
I motion.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Open discussion as well. I think it was, noted accordingly. I think it should have been, probably added, on the agenda, but where are we, Scott, with regards to the parking spots? Has there been any additional movement with that?
So we do have the release from Donna that she drafted.
Okay,
So it's just, I guess, a matter of, verifying these parking spots. And which ones we are gonna make available for police, because in that list, some of them were the loading zones. So we just have to,
Yeah, there's a loading zone in the lower garage, Alex, that we could do away with and add, and then there was one spot I was suggesting that maybe we make two.
Well, the
Yeah.
elevator people are using everything now.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
right now they're using everything.
Right.
Spots.
Yeah,
Right.
How many of them?
There were people, I went and checked, and there were some people that were in spots that they shouldn't be in, so.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Okay, so, I think there'll also need to be, any rules formulated for that as well, or it's more just from a lease perspective?
On how we started, right, how we do the initial,
Yeah, we'd have to discuss.
delegation of it, right?
Yeah, for the board, for the next board meeting, so we need to put a plan in place on what that would look like from a, initial, lottery system for those positions, and moving forward, what that looks like from a, obviously, I think we talked about the cost already. It's just a matter of, working through it,
a waiting list.
a waiting list and all that.
Yeah, we want to encourage turnover, so everybody gets it done.
Right. Okay,
What is that?
We don't want one person locking in a parking spot.
it's a yearly lease, and then we're gonna assess what the cost may be next year, but there are.
Besides the cost, there
If
might be
there's a
other
waiting,
people
if there's a waiting list, maybe he's talking about
Yeah.
moving the list around,
Right.
spots.
Yep. Okay, so we can finalize that for the next board meeting and get that locked in. And please, it's open mic anyway.
Questions?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Nancy Efrain, 1610. If you're still considering cutting off the north and south elevators at the same time, I know we put that on hold. In light or in consideration of the elevators always being, not always, but we have lots of elevators that are down at different times, I think it's not prudent cutting off the north and south at the same time. I would suggest alternating it, but that's consideration. I just can't see having both north wing and south wing elevator closed
At the same time.
at the same time.
I
Yeah.
understand, but how would you alternate it? What would be your plan?
You do 400.
To do one, complete it. When that's completed, then do the other. I don't care which one you do first. Do the north first, complete the north elevator, and then complete the south.
But with that though, having the north down does not impact the south wing elevator being down. So, I mean, we would just be extending the time frame because quite honestly, we want to get done and be out.
Because it's a lot of elevators that go. All right, well, next issue. Talking about getting, like, instead of using the remote for the cars, having stickers. Will the garage door be down like during the day? What I'm trying to get at is if I come in with my bike, will the garage door be down and how will I get in? If I don't have a sticker, will there be stickers for bikes?
So we've installed a fob reader outside of the main garage door where you can just use your fob and it'll open it.
Okay.
And then also leaving that lower garage, we installed a button off to the side where you can push the button and it'll open the gate.
Oh,
and leave.
great. Okay. So
Yeah, I think the broader vision, just to add to that, I think, is the wear and tear of a main garage door being open and closed. I think the next discussion by the board is gonna be to make a separate walking door. So we're alleviating the garage door going up and down simply for folks going back and forth. That's on the radar to look at, but at least from a security perspective, the fob is going to be the proper process.
will the garage door be closed during the day? Like,
As of right now, no. Right now, no, the plan is to keep the garage door open during the day like we normally do.
Right.
one more quick one. A couple of months ago, I was at a meeting and you were debating about buying beach furniture, chairs and chaise lounges. Has that been done? And are we going to see the new furniture soon?
We ordered 2 chairs that are expected to be shipped in, I believe it's 5 days, just for something to look at.
It's been a while,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're right, it's been painfully long.
Yeah.
Right.
So our shipment date, I believe, was July 26th.
Okay,
And yes, they're just two sample chairs. As you said, we were having discussions about purchasing beach lounges.
So we will be down the pike a while.
Right.
Okay, thank
Yep.
you.
I do have somebody online and I'll take yours. Brooke, your hand is up.
Hello, hello, good evening.
Good
With
evening.
respect to the construction manager and project manager, most consulting firms I've dealt with have people of varying costs from, the $400 an hour plus to $250 an hour, $90 an hour I still have seen around the world. And I would just suggest that we have a task order basis, because I just think it's easier that if they have a task, like let's say the task is that we want to update our quotes, and we've already had the quotes so we know who to call and stuff, that probably shouldn't be a 15-hour thing at $150 an hour. At max, it should be 3 hours not to exceed at, $110 an hour. And I just observed that once consultants bill time, like let's say they get some junior person and they're like, wow, I need to dump a bunch of time somewhere, and they bill out 17 hours on it, to come back, 8 weeks later is a lot harder. So all the people I've talked to lately are like, what's going to happen to the something else we're paying every 3 months? Is that going to go down? So people seem to care about money. So I would just suggest you go with a task order basis and have the firm come up with an estimate as to what the not to exceed is and what level of person they're going to put on it, so that we can keep to alleviate the pressure from the board, alleviate the pressure from Scott, but also respect the homeowners who would like our dollars to be used prudently. Or, I'd rather give the money to the social committee than to waste it on consultants, but.
Thank you, noted.
You got a fan.
Thank you. Any other points online? Or here, was there a question or comment? I think there was one more here and we'll call it an evening.
Yeah, just a follow-up question to the garage doors. So if I understand it correctly, right, for the cars, they're all gonna be tagged by maintenance or security. Are you gonna also tag the motorcycles for those people that have motorcycles?
Yeah, we'll figure out a way to where we can put the sticker on the headlight of a motorcycle or.
Okay, and then for all the part-time residents that come in and rent cars and so forth, the solution is for them to be using the fobs?
So the fobs the garage clickers will not work
Right.
at one point. So for people that will have rental cars, we have the mirror hangers that have a barcode on it that they just, hang it on their rear view mirror.
Okay,
And
so they'll have to come to the office
Yep.
first.
Yes. Yeah, and we would expect that over time, with the seasonal folks are coming down and they have their spots, they're gonna get their cards registered as well and get the RFIDs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enter tags, so it's gonna be multiple scenarios like that.
or if they're renting a car long-term for like a month, 2 months, 3 months, and they don't want that thing dangling in their mirror that whole time, we can program those stickers to deactivate on a certain date as well.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll call it an evening. Thank you, everybody, for your participation. Good evening.
Thank you all. Nice seeing you.
Good.